Guys, so as you guys might imagine, we have the Conquest of Realms that I was telling you about a while back. So you can jump in and basically it's exactly what you think it is. You're basically flying a ship and you're shooting robots. It's relatively straightforward. Obviously, you don't want to get shot at, you don't want to die, vice versa. So, the challenge is don't die. Now, you can get upgrades, like that, for example, and naturally that's going to increase the type of stuff you can collect, and you can get a health bar, but the rest of it's relatively straightforward. Here I'm just trying to avoid getting killed. Oh, see, oh well. Well, anyway, this is a relatively easy thing to do. It's just don't get hit. That's all. Don't get clumsy like I did, but it's kind of easy to do. You can get different kinds of weapon upgrades though, and like this one's one of my favorite ones. You'll get double shot. It's a little better than like here now I'm getting triple shot, so alright, there we go. And so, yeah. In any case, and then you just grab your reward and you just grab it from day on. But as far as what goes on, as far as Galactic Epoch goes, I mean, you get a shot at basically grabbing some extra stuff down here. It's like $10 to grab it though. Then within of course, and then if we go to Sea of Fallen Stars, then you've got the different draws, which, as you might imagine, most of these draws you're not going to get very lucky, but you may get the Nebula Shuttle, which gives you a shield, which that's pretty decent. And then the item of question that nobody's really seen a whole lot of yet, which is this basically this Under the Dome, which gives you a copy of a random enemy character. So I figured for fun, since I figure that, in the world we'll have already gone over, and if you go to like news here, we can see that Beachy's got it. So I'll just take a look at Beachy here and practice against Beachy and see what it does. So like there, you can see he's got, it's not like terribly crazy by any means, right? But it's kind of a fun little thing to see in action. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, as far as the actual use case for it goes, like in here, it's probably not going to be of much consequence. It's like the same thing with the lava behemoth. It's just very dependent on like what you're doing at the time. In case you're wondering how this mage prophet build works, this is basically the gist of it. It's might cross a trillion, but that's about all I can really attempt. And that's, it's nothing to do with the build so much as it's the level of my enchants. But like here you can see I've got global skill damage. Now I need to get combo damage swapped out for skill damage, but once I've done that, then I'm not terribly unhappy with any of those options, really. And then the avian, I'm just tweaking to get, basically you want to grab inert, and if you can get dilemma, awesome. You want talent skill. And then, ultimately I'm looking at not really no speeding so much as I'm also really kind of more leaning in on like Infinite Dream, for example, would be a super helpful one. Infinite Burst hits another one that, like we'll probably see if we can try to grab. But, again, I'm just merging and trying to get a better version of the Dense Cloud, which that just takes time. And then, of course, I've got the mutated time saving and infinite burst hit, and then the pumpkin witch. So I'm trying to combine these to kind of see if I can get some of those rare traits carried over to the dense cloud by chance. But we'll see, you know. I mean, otherwise, that's really about all of that. I'll eventually probably pick out an avian and then go all in on it, and that'll, by and large, make it fairly overpowered. Now, like right now, we have a full regen set, and really about the only thing that, if I was going to do anything now, is just to start nitpicking regen, you know, so I can start. Of course, I've got another stun set I'm playing with too, just to see if maybe it would be better for that or not. But like right now, I'm at the point where I'm just nitpicking for eternal pieces. And hopefully I'll get the correct amount of eternal pieces. It's just the journey of getting there is going to be painful. As far as the class awakening goes, I don't know. I could probably try balancing this out a little differently. Like, for example, I could go this way with it, and we can try this and see what it does. We'll go ahead and grab the HP a little bit, and we'll grab probably some of the defense. You know, not to change anything too drastic, right? But even like with a little tweak like that, that's going to bring up our skill damage up a little bit. It's going to bring up our attack quite a bit, up to 1600 now. You know, and it's just like little tweaks like that you know, you can get away with, making your account a little bit more difficult to kill. Of course, as far as the talents go, this is what I'm running. I'm running 15% stun, and then endless outburst, and then I'm trying to get the active skill regen as low as I can get it. So that way the regen just procs even faster, and active skill fires off even more often. Coincidentally, right, you're also probably a little bit limited in scope. I mean, in terms of what you can do. Like, you can either use easy breezy, like I've got dazzled in here, but there's some other choices. Like, I could probably throw dazzled out, for example, and we can use like Cloud Strike's handy from time to time, depending on whether you're making a PvP focused build or if you're going for more of the bosses and stuff. It's really going to determine that. But like, if I was going to be doing a lot more bosses and stuff, I'll probably run something closer to this, probably, just because the PvE element of boss damage becomes a little bit more relevant. And having an extra clone just kind of gives you that a little bit more that you would need. Big issue with it, though, as you can tell, was it just doesn't take very much to kill it. It's the only reason why Clone Strike is just not as used as often. You wind up really kind of favoring in turn for like things like Smoke Bomb or Easy Breezy even for that drop. So like, for example, if I just go Easy Breezy, for example, and we hop into PvP, and let's say we go against Millers at 65k, you can kind of get an idea of what it's gonna do. Yeah, it like lowers his attack ever so slightly. It doesn't work as well when you're just not like fully prepped all the way. Like, I still got a lot of skill damage I've got to add into this build, but you know, against somebody of like mere, like, God, it's hard to find somebody that's near my power ranking these days. Like, I'm just on the cusp of being one or the other, and because I dabble between a Plume Monarch build and a skill-based build, it just doesn't usually fall in favor one or the other. I'm sure some people are like, well, what if I don't have Cheetah Zero? Well, you could always go with like Cloud Drifter, for example, and grab the skill crate by 10% and get a 20% attack boost. Otherwise, I mean, a really good choice here would be Magic Carpet, would be my go-to favorite. I mean, because if you go to Magic Carpet and then you start going at it, you'll see kind of what this is like. Magic Carpet just throws a little bit of RNG in it. Well, obviously, you know, even like that guy, he was weaker than me, and it still kind of came flat. And it's just like I said, it's just a large part of that has to do with the fact that, you know, and even in this case, it's like if I use Cloud Drifter and do the same exact thing I just did, and try like a couple of different players and see if it makes any difference. I wouldn't be surprised if it does at all. Sometimes you can increase that skill crit up so much, and then you can even, so like for example, like right now I'm running Dense Cloud for regen, but like I could go down this path, and now what you're doing is basically every time you pop a skill crit, it's gonna fire off. When you've got skill crit at like 56, that's not bad. Like you'll see even with this, that means we're like a little over 60% skill crit. And then, you know, we can go at it and try that and see what, if anything, that really accomplished. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But like here, it's okay. But you can see how that kind of worked out. You know, it's different the way that that's approached. We can like try Kyler here and see how it works on Kyler. Because the plume builds usually get kind of lucky with the way mine is set up. It just doesn't do a ton of damage. In any case, that's kind of like the different ways that you can play with it, though. Is like if you go pumpkin route, then every skill crit you do is going to do 600% AoE. Whereas if you were to go down this route, you're going to do that after 13 seconds. But then you've got energy regen for 25%, which just makes your skills in general fire off more often. So it's kind of a question of whether do you want to do more skill. If you're doing a lot of skill crit already, you know, then this is just a 600% dampener on top of it. And it's just really kind of how you pick and choose. I would say, if anything, you could probably make it do that much more damage if you wear some skill crit gear and bring it up to like 80 and just have it fire, or even 100%, and just have it fire off all the time. Guaranteed every single time, and then you're doing 600% AoE, which, mind you, it's 600% AoE skill damage. So if you want to like maximize it, you basically got to go in here and adjust the amount of skill damage you're doing. So like if I just redid this and then say we grab this and we go grab the stun, because right now I don't want to wear stun gear really, I'm using regen gear in place of it. If I just dump it all into basically skill damage as opposed to like an active skill regen, and say we did that instead, then it should bring my skill damage up enough to be in like the 1100. It's like a 50 to 100% increase, but it's enough that you'll notice that that AoE skill damage just jumps like that much more. It makes it that much more deadly, and that's part of why it synergizes so well. But in any case, I just thought I'd show you that. But if anything, guys, you're wanting to save some money, make sure you watch this end of the video, especially now that Conquest of Realms is coming on, because you can get at least 5 to 10% of your money back, so make sure to check that out.